You've heard of
Laurel.
You've also heard of the blue dress, white dress. You may have also heard of is it in? These were the defining questions of our generation that shaped the internet. We saw firsthand what having a two-party system could do to people. Sorry, wrong video. We saw firsthand the divide these questions cause, and the true nature of people was revealed. Few modern-day messiahs try to come to the rescue with explanations about music and color theory to appease the crowds, but we told them to fuck off. But no one is able to make sense of this new question. The new defining question that overshadows all the Yanny laurels and colored dresses, because it has $200 million writing on it. What is this man wearing? On May 22nd, 2025, Polymarket opens the market asking the question, will Zelenskyy wear a suit before July? Let's talk about what Polymarket is. So if you don't know, let me give you an example. Take a hedge fund. Now, remove the regulation, the oversight, the transparency, you're left with a hedge fund. That is essentially what Polymarket is. But instead of trading on stocks, they trade on something more concrete. The truth. So you can bet on anything, basically. Will Trump say the word tampon? That's a bet. Will the US release proof of aliens? That's a bet. Will Jesus arise in 2025? Yes, that is a bet. So Zelenskyy famously does not wear a suit and hasn't for the past 2 years to stand in solidarity with his people over the Russian invasion. And he said that he won't wear a suit until the conflict is resolved. So naturally, this market gained a lot of traction and attracted a bunch of degenerates who thought this was a lucrative investment opportunity. That a man who hasn't worn a suit in the past 2 years will do so in the next month. Turns out they were right. A photo from the NATO summit in the Netherlands was released on the 24th of June, in which Zelenskyy is seen wearing a suit, further reinforcing that 99% of gamblers quit before winning it big. So Polymarket resolved the market in favor of yes, that Zelenskyy did in fact wear a suit. End of story. You would think. A few days later, all the bettors who voted no disputed the resolution, citing the outfit's non-traditional elements, that the fact that he wasn't wearing a tie, his shoes were not like formal dress shoes, and the jacket was not like, accurate as to what a suit should be. It was like stylized. So the problem arises with the definition of the word suit. And here's where they should have taken a Jordan Peterson approach to betting.
Do you believe in God? What do you mean do? What do you mean you? What do you mean believe? What do you mean God?
So according to our resident expert, technically, a suit is defined as a set of garments made from the same cloth and intended to be worn typically consisting of a matching jacket and trousers. Dress shoes and a tie are not required for it to be classified as a suit. But culturally, people often expect a suit to have a collared shirt, a tie, and formal shoes. Now, all the voters who had their money riding on no did not take lightly to this uncultured standard to which this resolution was held and disputed it. Now, when a dispute arises, the UMA's optimistic oracle steps in. So UMA stands for Universal Market Access. So Polymarket is a decentralized prediction market platform and doesn't involve itself with the outcomes of the bets. That is handled by the UMA by acting as a secure and transparent way for resolving disputes and determines the truth of the market outcome. The UMA's optimistic oracle is like a decentralized judge for prediction markets. It's used to figure out the truth about real-world events like whether Zelenskyy wore a suit or not, without a central authority calling the shots. Okay, so say you're betting on Polymarket about whether something happens. Once the betting period is over, like in this case, it was supposed to be over on the 30th of June, someone needs to step in and say, hey, what happened? Did he wear a suit or not? So a person called the proposer steps in and says, hey, I think the answer is yes, that yeah, he did wear a suit, or no, he didn't. And when they say this, they need to put down money in a bond in crypto called UMA tokens to prove that they're serious. And if no one opposes the proposer, his judgment stands. And for a short time, anyone can look at the proposed answer and be like, oh yeah, that's valid, this was a thing, or they can oppose it. And if they disagree, they can challenge that proposal by putting their own money in a bond. Now here's where things get a little shaky. The question goes to a vote among people who own UMA tokens. Think of them as the jury. These voters look at the evidence like news articles, videos, or whatever the market's rules set to check and vote on what they think is true. They also stake their own UMA tokens, so they lose money if they vote against the majority. This is supposed to keep them honest. So a few days later, Polymarket issues a statement. A consensus of credible reporting has not confirmed that Zelenskyy has worn a suit. So this shifted the resolution towards no, causing the yes share price to drop from 19 cents to 4 cents, reducing the implied probability to 4%. So imagine you bet $100 on yes. You bought shares of yes at 19 cents, so you had 526.32 shares. And if the market resolved yes, you would get the payout of $1 per share, making your total payout $526.32 on a $100 bet. So due to this Polymarket statement, the share price of yes went down to 4 cents. And if you got them diamond hands and you're waiting for the resolution to pass, you would still get $1 per share if the resolution was a yes. So this drop from 19 to 4 cents just shows that the market thinks the resolution is going to be a no. Okay, so why did the market fail here? So the main reason is because they didn't define what a suit was. But people have also brought forward concerns regarding the UMA's optimistic oracle reliance on token holders who may have financial stakes in the market, creating a conflict of interest. There's also speculation that there's whales with huge UMA token holdings who can and are manipulating the markets. There's also allegations that a rival prediction market platform called Kalshi or Kalshi have a $127,000 position on yes. So people think that if this resolves to a no, it could be grounds for Kalshi or Kalshi to sue Polymarket. So now that you're caught up with the drama, let's see what people had to say about this. Alright, so there's been an update and the market has resolved to a no. Zelenskyy has in fact not worn a suit. So initially it was a yes, but then it was disputed. Then they proposed a no, and that was disputed again. And the final outcome is just a no. And people are not happy about it. This is the biggest scam in Polymarket history. Despite all the evidence, despite countless articles from reputable media outlets, which were more than enough to reach credible reporting consensus, they still sided with the UMA whale manipulators and handed them all the money. Actually not handed, they stole it from the community. The debate was so heated that people reached out to the designer of Zelenskyy's suit, or not suit in this case, and he confirmed that it was a suit. Yes, the outfit can indeed be referred to as a suit. Though not a traditional one, it is a tailored ensemble that draws from both civilian and military references, designed to convey authority, subtlety, and purpose. While it deviates from the conventional structure of a classic suit, it fulfills the same function in a more contemporary, context-aware form. Oh, here's one by Morning Brew. Polymarket is in a $250 million mess to decide whether Volodymyr Zelenskyy wore a suit last month. The platform initially resolved to the bet yes, even though Zelenskyy's NATO outfit didn't look like a traditional suit. Users then accused Polymarket of manipulating the outcome and took the issue to a third party. The bet is currently the largest on Polymarket by volume, with the final decision coming later tonight. And here's a nice summary about the whole video. Polymarket has a $142 million market about to resolve wrong because the UMA Oracle voters are ignoring Reuters, BBC, Washington Post, all confirming the same thing. One trader has $5.8 million riding on no, and somehow the Oracle is voting his way despite all the evidence. A fresh $200 million funding round, and this is the infrastructure. So they recently raised a $200 million round at a valuation of $1 billion. So Polymarket is worth $1 billion. $210 million in volume. Outcomes can be proposed with just a $750 bond. 4 whales who own like 40% of the UMA supply. 1 whale in control of about 25%. The game is obviously flawed and rigged with collusion of whales taking oversized bets on an outcome they decide. Another case of faith lost in crypto. And finally, probably the best tweet out of this whole drama. So now that Polymarket has shown its hand in being complicit with market manipulation and fraud within its largest market, the Zelenskyy suit, I present this to you without comment. Alright, so what did we learn? Don't bet on stupid shit, man. I mean, if you wanted to gamble your money away, by all means, just go to a casino or just go to any of these online casinos and you can do that. That's probably better than this, because if you win in a casino, you at least get your money. Granted, they prey on you and you may develop a gambling addiction, and if you do get a gambling addiction, it's a serious thing, get help. But at least you don't get screwed over when you do win, because that shit was clearly a suit. Okay, that's where I stand. I don't have any money on this. This concerns me in no way, but that is a suit. And I'm gonna see this through. And I guess we just wait and see what happens. See how the market responds. Alright guys, that's it from me. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you again.